for joining us. I'm Sydney Hunt, Senior Communication Specialist for CCISD, and we're bringing you a special podcast episode today. I'm joined by Ms. Dava West, CCISD's Director of Counseling and Student Services, and Christina Ford, Assistant Director of Counseling and Student Services. Thank you both for being here.
Our pleasure.
Our regulars on the show. So each year we like to bring you this big topic during this time of year, which is course selection for our intermediate and high school students, and that includes the students who are currently in 5th grade and currently in 8th grade going into high school. So today we're going to give parents and guardians a little bit of the overview of the process and give some tips on how families can help prepare students for this important step for next school year. So this information is relevant, like I said, to all current 5th graders through 11th grade students. And so let's start out, Dava, let's start off with explaining what course selection is and why it's an important topic for our incoming 6th through 12th grade students.
Alrighty, so to me, course selection is one of the most exciting times of the year. It's a time when you have to get to look forward to what new opportunities lie ahead for your next school year. It's something we like to call it's a transitional time too, and believe it or not, we have these transitions all throughout our life. We had it when we started elementary school. We have it when we're moving from elementary school to intermediate school, from intermediate to high school, after high school, and then again, even as adults, if we're changing jobs or whatever, that's another transitional time. So it's a wonderful time where we get to look forward, get to see what classes we take, but it's also a good time to practice some coping strategies on feeling maybe overwhelmed. What do I do next? And this is a great practice time when they still have support from their parents to work on some of those skills so that later in life, whenever they are on their own, they've developed these skills, they've known they made it through this transition, and so they're successful as adults. So other things that also happen during course selection, it really doesn't happen until the next school year, but you get to kind of start building up to it during course selection, is you get to follow your passion. You get to set new goals for the new year. We just had New Year's resolutions, and so this is a good way for students and families to start looking forward to setting some new goals for the next school year. And we like to kind of think of it as a opportunity to test your courage zone versus your comfort zone. And this might be really new for our incoming 6th graders and our incoming 9th graders. They're very comfortable. They have a friend circle. They know what they like, but they're going to be moving on to a new school, a new opportunity to join new things, make new friends. So when we're talking about course selections and picking courses, you may not always want to do what your friend's doing because that might not really be your passion.
Right.
And it's okay to test that courage zone and try to see if it's okay for you to get in that courage zone because you might like to learn something new about yourself. So there's a lot of different things involved in course selection, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And if our viewers have any questions on Facebook, you can put them in the comment section, and if we have time, we'll get to them towards the end of the show. We're going to have a lot of information and also some opportunities for our parents to learn more at your specific campuses coming as early as next week. So let's start with our current 5th grade families. Christina, this may be the first time they're going through course selection, and especially for these students, it's the first time their student is going through it. So what are some important items that they should know?
You're right. This is the first time that a lot of our current 5th graders, incoming 6th graders, are going through the course selection process, which can bring a lot of unknowns. Those transition periods can be a little nerve-wracking at times, but we're here. Our campuses are here to walk you through that process, and course selection is really our first opportunity to do that. And so what we want to make sure is there's a variety of opportunities starting next week that your student and that you as parents can make sure that you are as informed as possible in helping your student choose their courses for next year and think about that courage and comfort zone that Ms. West just talked about. So the biggest one is next week for our incoming 5th graders. So Monday the 31st and Tuesday the 1st, our incoming 6th graders, our current 5th graders, are going to be going on campus tours. This is a really fun experience for our 5th graders. I've been on many tours, and it's just so fun to see the excitement of our 5th graders as they get to step in those intermediate campuses. And so what your student will do is your student is going to, let me back up a minute. On the screen, you should see that calendar. I'm going to go over that calendar so we can just specify which campuses go on which days. So Monday, January 31st, if your student is zoned to these following campuses, they're going to be going on that campus. So if they're Bayside, Creekside, League City, or Victory Lakes Intermediate, they're going to be leaving their elementary campus and going to tour their intermediate campus. Then that next day on February 1st, if they're zoned to Brookside, Clear Creek Intermediate, Clear Lake Intermediate, Seabrook, Space Center, or Westbrook, they're going to be getting on those buses on February 1st and actually going to that intermediate campus. So those are pretty important days. If you don't know where your child is zoned to, so you're not sure where your child is going, that elementary campus counselor should have already told your child. You can reach out to them, or you can go on our website, and if you look at About, and then go to District Map and School Finder, you can type in your address and you'll see where you're zoned to, so you'll know which campus your child is going to. So what are those tours going to look like? Your child is going to have the opportunity to really kind of experience a little snippet of what intermediate life is going to be. They're going to get a snippet of that campus community that they're zoned to. What is so special about that community that they're going to get to spend the next 3 years with? They've possibly spent the last 6 years at one campus community, so it's really fun for them to start seeing what those next 3 years will hopefully be for them. It's a great time for those students. They're going to see those elective options. Prior to this, your elementary student has had music, art, and block as their electives. Now that freedom starts coming, that they get to start figuring out where their passions lie. So they're going to get to go around and see the different opportunities, and we really encourage you to talk to your child about paying attention to all of these options. They may have their heart set on one. It might be because they really love it. It might be because their friends love it. But when they go on that tour, they might see something that really sparks their interest. So really, it's important to keep that open mind of the different electives. They're going to see what that campus might look like. They may even see a passing period. We might get to see when class schedule changes and it's not the lines that we're used to in elementary school, the
Right.
little bit of freedom. So they get to experience all of that with students and teachers and everyone there to help guide them along the way. And really, they get to learn from counselors and administrators the freedoms and responsibilities that come with that transition of intermediate school. So it's a really fun and exciting day. They come back to campus with all sorts of questions, but that day is just for our students. And we want to make sure parents are informed as well. So the night that your child goes on that tour, so if your child was going to the campus on Monday, January 31st, that campus is also going to hold a parent night. And this is really important for parents to go. This possibly could be your first time going through
Right.
course selection. And so on that Monday, January 31st, Bayside, Creekside, League City, and Victory Lakes Intermediate, they're going to hold their parent nights at 6 p.m. It's welcome to all students who are zoned to there, and our counselors and administrators are going to kind of walk you through the course selection process and what to expect for 6th grade. On that Tuesday night, Brookside, Clear Creek, Clear Lake, Seabrook, Space Center, and Westbrook will hold their parent nights at 6 p.m. also. So we really encourage parents to, if you're able to come to that parent night, to help learn what that course selection process is. But that's not all. So
There's more.
There's more. So that either the day of the tour or later on that week, your child is going to come home with two very important things that as a 5th grade parent, you may have never seen before. So in Clear Creek ISD, we have something called an educational planning guide. We have one for intermediate and we have one for high school. And really what this booklet is it is a map, it's a book, it's a catalog of all of the courses that are offered either in intermediate or high school. Your child will come home with one. And what we want you to remember, if this is your first time of ever seeing this is a catalog of every course that's available at every single campus throughout all of intermediate. Not all courses are offered in 6th grade. So it's a great tool to use about general information about courses and the campuses. There's also information in this guide about specialty programs that maybe are offered at the intermediate campus. And in the back, we have a high school supplement. I know your student is just going into 6th grade, but it's also important to start thinking about high school and different plans for that. So we've included some pages in there to help guide you along the way as you're working with your student about mapping their 6th grade year out. Now, the educational planning guide has all of the courses available. your campus is also going to send your child home with a course selection worksheet. This worksheet is optional. You don't have to turn it in, but that's going to help you and your student kind of guide your decision-making process on the courses that your child that's offered on your child's campus and that are available at your campus. What I want to stress on that piece is that you want to make sure that your child is really, you're having a conversation about what your child likes. Not necessarily what their friends like, not necessarily what they think, but what is something that's going to help drive their passions.
And making it okay to explore, because they just went to their
Yes,
campus.
yes.
What did you like, at your new campus?
Absolutely.
Kind
And
of
it helps guide that decision of having that. So make sure you're having those conversations. A second ago, I talked about how in the educational planning guide, there was some specialty programs. So I want to touch on that. It's a little bit of a change this year. We've really worked to get all of our programs aligned with course selection. So in intermediate school, there are our campuses that you're zoned to, but we have additional 3 programs. So we have a dual language program, a science magnet program, and a WAVE program. All students should have already received information if they qualify for these specific programs or for the ones that are application process. So these are different options that you can have. What we have done this year is aligned the process so that during course selection, you're only going to be selecting courses for the campus you are going to go to. So if your child is interested and has been working through that process of deciding, am I going to go to dual language? Am I going to go to Science Magnet? Am I going to go to WAVE? Or am I going to attend my home campus? Please remember that your commitment date, that decision is due by February 1st at midnight. So you will have been able to see and learn about all the programs as well as your home campus, and you've got to make that commitment by February 1st at midnight. And really what this does is helps make sure that you and your family only has to go through course selection once. We only want you focusing on the programs that your student is going to be experiencing next year. So I've talked a lot about different programs and different tour dates, but there's a couple more dates that we really want to make sure that as incoming 6th grade families you have on your radar. So we talked about how on the 31st and the 1st, there's campus tours and parent nights. In order to have all of our programs aligned, this is different if you've had children in the past, so please make sure you pay attention to this date. That course selection window to actually pick your classes is going to be a week later. So it starts on February 7th. That whole week prior, you've got your campus tours, you've got your parent nights, and our intermediate counselors are coming and talking to your students about the course selection process. So that whole week before that window opens, we're really taking that as an opportunity to help support you and your student, guide you along the way to make those selections. So on the 7th through the 23rd of February, that Skyward course selection opens. It has to be through student access, not your family access. So make sure that your student knows their student ID and their PIN number to log in. You can contact the campus if your child isn't sure what that is. And that is how we will walk you through that course selection process. We'll give you instructions. It's pretty self-explanatory through our instructions in that course selection worksheet. And then you select your courses, and then we wait a little while. And then in April, the week of April 11th, you're going to be looking for some directions from that intermediate campus on how to verify the selections that you have made. They will give you instructions on how to make sure your courses are the ones that you wanted, or if you want to make a change, they'll let you know how to do that process. So that will be coming home the week of April 11th. And if you want to make any changes, that's going to be April 29th. There is one thing that doesn't have dates, but I want to make sure that I highlight on that 7th through the 23rd when you're working with your students in Skyward. We're going to make course selections. You've got your course selection worksheet, but we also have a section in there for alternates. And a lot of times families kind of skim over that because we've made our choices and these are the ones that we want.
Right.
We always try to give students their first choice, always. That is our number one priority. However, sometimes one course that you really want is only taught at one time. And then another course you only want is only taught at another time. And you have to make that decision to choose between those. Or a course is filled. We want to honor any alternates that you would make. So the way that our counselors and administrators can do that is if you enter your alternates. If a course that you've selected is not possible within your schedule, we'll look at those alternates in the order that you select them. So please make sure you look at the directions and put those alternates in.
And one thing that always happens on that
Yes.
one is if I don't put alternates, that means I will be guaranteed to get the
Right.
courses
Yes.
that I put. And that's not, if you
Yeah.
don't put alternates, then sometimes the administrators and counselors kind of have to pick an
place
alternate
you.
for you. So that's another great reason to go ahead and put those alternates in.
Exactly. So, intermediate school, it's that transition for our 5th graders to 6th graders. And really, I know that was a lot of information. Course selection is fun, yet can be kind of overwhelming. We're always here to help you. And just remember that intermediate school is that time to find your fun. You get a little bit more freedom.
Right.
You get a little bit more choices. Maybe it's through electives or activities or fine arts. But just really take that opportunity to find your fun. Find where you really can find what you fit into and what drives your passions.
And we do have one question that's pertaining to 6th grade.
Okay.
Incoming 6th grade, how many electives do those 6th graders get?
Those 6th graders are going to get, it depends on what they choose.
Right.
So we have different honors and on-level courses. So if your student chooses an honors language arts, they're going to get a couple more electives than our students who do not choose on-level or honors. So what's really important, and different campuses based on the program that you're in, it looks a little different. Look at that course selection worksheet. Typically you get one. Most of our students are going to get one elective, but it can vary.
A lot of great information. I think also bringing back the in-person tours of the students on
So
campus
excited.
helps relieve some of that fear and the unknown, and so
Yes.
really to help them make the best decisions. If our student was accepted to Science Magnet, do we get to go to that campus for parent night?
The Science Magnet, that is a really good question. Science Magnet should already be having their own Science Magnet specific parent nights. So please make sure that you look at that. I know a couple of them have already happened. So contact that Science Magnet campus and find out when that parent night is. Some of them have already happened.
Okay.
If you weren't able to attend, let's say your student commits to that, they weren't able to attend, reach out to that campus. They'll get you the specific course selection worksheet and walk you through that process.
Perfect.
Yep.
And so we talked through 6th grade. So how about some incoming 9th grade tips? What does this process look like for those students who are currently in 8th grade going into 9th grade?
So I'm going to go over a lot of the same information Ms. Ford just went over, except specifically for our incoming 9th graders. So again, going to hit the dates first so that we can get those narrowed down, and so those stick with us the most. So high school kids, there's a lot of students already at our high schools, and there's a lot of students coming to our high school. So we don't actually have campus tours for incoming 9th graders. But what we do have is our high school counselors go down to our intermediate campuses, and they spend time providing all of the information to our incoming 9th graders about campus-specific processes and graduation requirements, because that's a whole new level whenever you're starting to enter high school. So on Tuesday, February the 8th, if your child is zoned to if your child attends Clear Creek Intermediate, Bayside Intermediate, Clear Lake Intermediate, or Creekside Intermediate, the high schools that those schools feed into will be on those campuses to provide them with the information. So if your student, and again, like Ms. Ford mentioned, about how to, on our website, about going to About and the transportation information, if you're not sure where your child is zoned to, you can find that information there. And the counselors will help divide them out and make sure that they're going to the right presentation on that day. And then on Wednesday, February 9th, our counselors will be going from all of the high schools that feed in. We'll be going to League City Intermediate and Westbrook Intermediate. Then on Thursday, February 10th, our counselors will be going to Seabrook Intermediate and Victory Lakes Intermediate. And then on Friday, we're going to go see Brookside Intermediate and Space Center Intermediate. So it's about a week that they're going to spend getting all that information out. And then we like to get all of the information out, kind of let families start talking about it. And then we also provide an incoming 9th grade parent night. It's the same date for all of our comprehensive high schools. It will be on Wednesday, February the 16th. We usually had it on Monday, but we recognized that there's a very special day on Monday the 14th, so we wanted to make sure our staff and our families were with those that they love.
Right.
So we went ahead and bumped it on over to Wednesday, the 16th. It is at 6 p.m. On most campuses, that's going to include a parent presentation where we're going to start talking to you about all of those graduation requirements, endorsements, GPA rank, all of those fun things that you start getting at high school. And then there's either some campuses call call it a course fair. Some campuses call it a course expo. But they have students and teachers from all of our amazing programs, visual and performing arts, athletics, CTE, ROTC, all of these amazing things that you can go and visit those teachers and students and see what opportunities await you at your high school. And so that's a great opportunity for you to see what you can do in ninth grade and what you have to look forward to over the next 4 years.
And students are encouraged to go with their parents to that night.
Students are absolutely encouraged because whenever we go and talk to our the incoming ninth graders, it's a lot of information.
Right.
So hearing it twice
Right.
is always great. And so again, the students can come, and we want them to come to that course expo and really see all the amazing things that their campuses have to offer. And it's just, it builds excitement for what comes next. And as Ms. Ford mentioned, and as we mentioned, that comfort and courage zone, you can kind of figure out what your passion is just because your friend did it. And you just see all these amazing things, and the excitement starts to build. That's what I like best about course selection.
Absolutely.
And then during this process, again, it's a lot of overwhelming information, but high school is that next step. It's that transition where you're starting to prepare for your future. So at these meetings, when the counselors are talking to their students, and at our parent night, we're going to go over the current graduation requirements. So students entering ninth grade, what does it take for them to graduate at the end of that senior year? They get to explore all of those amazing things. They get to see what other passions they may see lying ahead in their future. Maybe we don't offer it at their particular intermediate school, but I can join it in high school, and that's super exciting. It's another opportunity to start building leadership. Where can you be a leader if you're really passionate about an organization? Because starting in ninth grade, you're also starting to build that resume that's going to go
It's
to
not an off
college.
year.
It's not an off year. You're going to start building that resume that freshman year that you're then 4 years later going to start sending off to college and go, here are all the amazing things that I did. Here's where I was a leader. Here is the rigor of classes I took. So yes, we kind of, even though it's 4 years later, we start building it during ninth grade. Volunteer mentoring, again, you're just starting to build that resume because college will be here before you know it. And as Ms. Ford mentioned, we have an educational planning guide. So when those intermediate counselors go down to, when the high school counselors go down to the intermediate schools, they will provide your child with a physical copy of our high school educational planning guide. And while the intermediate one is thick, the high school one's just a little bit thicker. It has all of the graduation requirements in it, what endorsements are, and you will get all of that information at your parent meeting. It reminds you about GPA and rank, because that actually does start the freshman year as well. Alternative ways to earn high school credit. It's called a planning guide. It's educational planning guide. It's not a course book. It's, hey, we're here to help you plan that whole education process while you are in high school. It talks a little bit about the specialty programs we offer. And then just like in the intermediate and the back part of the book, it has every course offered in CCISD. And what we have to remember is just because it's in the book doesn't necessarily mean it will be offered on that campus, because we have a large variety of different courses offered on different campuses. So one of the things that your student will receive when those high school counselors visit is a course list that are available for ninth graders. So usually the ninth grade one's about a page long. And then when you get into 10th, 11th, 12th, it's usually about 4 pages long. So you kind of start opening up more of those opportunities. But all of the courses described. So it's another great way to start planning out what you want to do over the next 4 years. And so very similar to intermediate, those counselors are going to go visit the intermediate campus. The high school counselors are going to go visit the intermediate campuses starting on February the 8th through the 10th, 11th. And then we are going to open up Skyward course requests from February the 8th through the 23rd. So yes, your student's going to get the information that first week when they visit with counselors. Then on the 16th, you can go visit, so you get a little bit more time to go, is this exactly what you want? Talk as a family, try to find some balance, try to find passion. Have we captured everything that you need to do? Let's get it entered into Skyward. Also like to mention, I believe you have a program coming up talking to our amazing CTE leaders about all the specialty programs, but there is an application for some of our specialty programs, and that priority deadline is also February 25th. So you have about 3 weeks in there to kind of let us know where you're wanting to go. And again, just like intermediate, the week of April 11th, our campuses are going to let you know how to verify what these are the courses. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to get them in this order, and it's not a guarantee that
Right.
you're going to get those classes. We're like,
Right.
this is what you want, because our master schedulers work very hard over the summer to try to help everyone get the courses they would like. It doesn't always work out that way, so it goes back to those alternates, making sure you include those alternates into Skyward as well. And then on April 29th is our absolute deadline. We don't accept changes after that because where it's tied to staffing and master schedules, and just we got to make sure we're ready for the next school year. So those are some other important dates that we want families to know about. And again, as Ms. Ford mentioned, like, so you start having some fun in intermediate school, but then high school happens. And we have Friday night football and Friday night volleyball and theater productions, which I believe is our musicals are going on right now, and they're amazing. And we start having ROTC competitions and just all of these other amazing CTE programs and
Hundreds of clubs and organizations.
Hundreds of clubs.
on each campus.
watched a video the other day of a student, I believe at Creek, building something for the space station. I mean,
Yes.
these amazing things are going on our high school campuses. And so this is a great opportunity for you to explore our CTE, athletics, fine art, clubs, organizations, finding new friends, because you're going to have an even bigger pool of friendship now. And just, again, those leadership opportunities. So high school is such an exciting time. You don't get another 4 years like it. And so it's just a great opportunity to really start building the fun over the next 4 years.
Absolutely. And like Ms. West mentioned, we are going to have a career and technical education podcast next week on Wednesday. So tune into that, and you'll get some more information on some new programs and also our amazing specialty programs and coursework that you can include in your planning for next school year. So we talked through what incoming 6th and 9th grade looks like. What about the process for our current 6th and 7th grade or current 9th through 11th grade right now?
So that's great. So oftentimes we talk about our incoming 6th graders, we talk about our incoming 9th graders, and then
'Cause it's so new.
So it's new
Yeah.
because it's a transition time, right? But we haven't forgot about our students that are on those campuses already, and our pros sometimes now about knowing what they need to take to graduate.
Right.
If they're in high school or they have gone through their 6th grade year, they know what their campus is about, and they know what programs they want to continue on or try new during 7th and 8th grade. So very similar to high school, our intermediate campuses and high school campuses will provide the educational planning guides, the course selection worksheet, and any other relevant information to students sometime during the school day, the week of February 8th through February 11th. It might be through advisory, it might be through a special class. Every campus kind of decides how they're going to get that information out. And those students too, that window is open basically for everybody. And they will have from February 8th to February 23rd to get their course request, including alternates, into Skyward. And again, for them, because I know a lot of some of our CTE specialty programs are 11th and 12th grade, so they need to know that priority deadline for them, it's open now, but that priority deadline for them is also February 25th. They get that verification the week of April 11th, and then again, our April 29th. So they follow the same pattern, but I just didn't want them to feel left out. Like, when do we get
Absolutely.
ours?
Yeah. And most of this information is still relevant to those families who may need a little refresher. So we have a question about the EPG. I know we have not published the new year yet. Can you go over that?
Yes, so we will have it available online, but we do like to publish it on January 31st. We want everyone to start receiving it at the same time. So again, we always have an online one. The EPGs are printed the semester before course registration, so occasionally there may be some changes, and the online one is usually very up to date. There's not a lot of changes, but occasionally there's a few changes. So I believe it is at ccisd.net/course selection.
Yes.
You will be able to find the most up-to-date online EPGs on January 31st.
Awesome. We have a question about what is CTE. CTE is our career and technical education program. Can you go into a little bit? I know we're going to cover it next week, but those courses and specialty programs are at our high school level.
Yes. So career and technical education, when you think about that, those are our courses that are career driven. So it may be something we have a wide variety: engineering, health science, business. Our specialty programs, we have about 12 of them, I think now. A lot of those are for 11th and 12th graders, but we do have some that are open 9 through 12. Our programs, culinary arts, robotics. Culinary arts is at Clear Springs. Robotics is at Clear Brook. Broadband communication is at Clear Brook. Auto tech is at Clear Springs. Biomedical is at Clear Lake. biotechnology is at Clear Falls. Computer maintenance is at Clear Falls. Certified nursing assistant, cosmetology, and our new welding
yes.
is going to be at Clearview. And if I forgot any, I apologize, but I think I got most of them.
And dentistry is at Clear
Dentistry,
Creek.
yeah, dentistry and construction, I apologize,
Yes.
are both at Clear
Yeah.
Creek High School as well. So those are amazing programs. A lot of our freshmen take introductory courses into those, and then they can go out and do those. But so a freshman can take a career and technical education. If they're interested in being in, let's say, certified nursing assistant, they might be able to take medical terminology their freshman year.
Right.
So it's really thinking about courses that are geared toward careers.
And you can visit ccisd.net/CTE for more information on all those programs. And tune in next week as we dive deeper into those offerings. And so let's end on some final tips on how parents can help support their students through this process.
All right, so even if you're an entering sixth grader, you might not be quite classified as a teenager yet, but you're a tweener and really close. And we know if we're talking to parents, teenagers can be challenging sometimes with a deep sigh here or roll of the eye there. Like you might be trying to guide them through this process and they're insistent on trying something else. But they are listening to you, parents, even when you think they're not, they are listening to you, they are watching you, they want your feedback. And I hate to mention this because they're fifth graders, but college admission representative, and it just seems like so far off. That's why I
Right.
hate to
So far
talk
in the
about
future,
so
yeah.
far in the future, but it happens really fast. But when we're talking college admission officers, they want to see a student's passion kind of displayed on their academic work and finding that passion even as an incoming sixth grader and carrying it on. Like, no, they won't see your intermediate work, but that drives what kind of
Right.
goes into high school. So listening to your student and trying to tell them it's okay to try something new. Maybe it wasn't your brother or sister's passion. We need to find your passion, and parents helping emphasize that is always a wonderful thing, that support, because they are building those skills and knowing it's okay to do it while they still have a safety net, and then they're prepared again to do it when they get to adulthood. And then continue to provide them with experiences so that they can follow their passion, encouraging their passion, that I can't do that, I can't do that. You never know unless you try. Encouraged to try it. If you've never done an honors class, maybe this is the year you try an honors class. If you're in high school, maybe this is the year you try a dual credit class, an actual college class for the first time. So parents just encouraging that growth mindset. You can do this. Try to find these new opportunities. And again, I know we've mentioned it several times, but it's also encouraging them to follow their passion that will lead to their community
Right.
at their campus. And that is a great way for students to feel connected to their school and not feel so isolated, because our schools are big. And so finding those passions lead to friendships, lead to community, leads to being a part of your campus.
Absolutely.
And then the only other things I would suggest is that, as we already mentioned, our online EPGs, your students will get a copy of the physical EPG if there are incoming 6th through 9th grade. If they are current 9th through 11th graders, they can choose to select it, or they can use the online version, ccisd.net/course selection. Always keep up with your campus websites. They might have more information. We really encourage all of our parents to attend those parent nights and course fairs. You will learn a lot. And then if you have any questions, our counseling team is always available to help you, whether it's our 5th grade counselors that are going to help our incoming 6th grade parents as well. So 5th grade all the way up to high school, they are there to help and support you through this fun time.
Absolutely.
And I think one thing is, please complete the course selection process online, right?
Yes.
With all of this, that's the one way to get your voice in on what classes you want. So make sure you look at that window.
And I think if your student also, if this seems overwhelming and your student has maybe a favorite teacher or their counselors at their campus, they can also get some great, our counselors are amazing to help guide students and get them to where they need to be. So if you want to encourage your student to go talk with a favorite teacher or a counselor at their school of what would I be good at? What are my options to help secure my passion? I think that's also a great way,
I think I want to do this when I grow up. What
Right.
classes can I
What-
take to
yeah,
learn a little bit more
exactly.
about that? That's a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
In high school.
And I think one more thing, we will, for our current 8th grade families, the lottery application for our Clear Horizons Early College High School, which is one of our 2 high schools of choice, that application is now open. You can find more information more information on that, you do have to apply to be in the lottery. It's an amazing program. Students complete their high school diploma and their associate's degree within 4 years through the San Jacinto College, and that's where our Clear Horizons is based. So that application is open right now. You can find more information at checcs.ccisd.net. So it's checks.ccisd.net. So I wanted to mention that too, as parents and families are planning for next year as well.
Also, if we're talking about school of choice, I'm going to give a shout out to Clearview. I know that
Absolutely.
they have some informational sessions going on with students right now, and they'll have a parent information, but that's another campus of choice that some of our students might be interested in.
And a brand new school.
And a brand new, beautiful school that
They just opened in January at the new school was part of the Bond 2017 program. It was completely rebuilt next to the old campus. The old campus was built in 1938.
Yes.
And so these students are getting a whole new immersive 21st century learning experience. And as we mentioned, we have 3 CTE programs housed there that are open to all students in the district. So you can still, if one of those programs interests you in high school, you can still get a taste of the new building. So that's clearview.ccisd.net for their campus page. Thank you for that. Anything else you think we're missing?
I'm going to mention, we did mention CTE, and just to clarify, even though I listed off all of the campuses that our CTE specialty programs are on, I do want to clarify that those CTE programs, like you just said, are open to all students. So you don't have to attend that campus to participate. Most of them, it is an application process.
Right.
But you do, even if you are at Clear Falls and you want to go and do CNA, you absolutely, if you are accepted into the program, you can do that.
Right. You can travel between courses.
Yes.
If that's it, that's all we have covered. Tune in next week again on Wednesday. We're going to cover CTE in depth. And this episode, I see a question about the PowerPoint presentation. We'll publish that if y'all are good with that. And we will upload it in the show notes of this episode. We'll publish this episode as a new podcast episode, so be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts to Car Rider Line, and you'll be notified whenever we publish a new audio episode. So until next Wednesday, that's it for this Car Rider Line. We'll see you next time.